Bitcoin is at 150,000 going to 300. Gold is at 3,000 going to 5,000. And somebody down there in D.C. is going to say, you know what? These sound money guys, they're killing this dollar. They're killing, and this is damaging. This is a matter of friggin' national security. We got to save the dollar. You know, we've got a solution to that. We need to tax gold capital gains at 90%, tax Bitcoin capital gains at 90%. And by the way, and we're going to grab all the Bitcoin.
Lawrence Lepard is a popular sound money advocate, investment manager, and gold stock fund manager. Over the past few years, Lepard has been on a journey of recovery, going from a staunch gold bug to a Bitcoin maximalist. While he believes there are lots of similarities between both assets, he acknowledges that Bitcoin is the best hedge against fiat debasement, reckless monetary policies by central banks, and the inevitable collapse of the global financial system. Lepard recently sat for a highly insightful discussion with YouTuber Robert Breedlove, during which they discussed, amongst other things, Executive Order 6102. Executive Order 6102 was signed by U.S. President Franklin Roosevelt on April 5, 1933, forbidding the hoarding of gold coin, gold bullion, and gold certificates within the continental United States. The reason for the order was that investors were hoarding gold due to the depressing economic situation at the time, stalling economic growth, and worsening the Depression. The order also required all persons to deliver on or before May 1, 1933, all but a small amount of gold coin, bullion, and certificates in their possession to the Federal Reserve in exchange for $20.67 per troy ounce. During his discussion with Breedlove, Robert examined some concerning parallels between the economic situation in the 1930s and the current state of the U.S. economy, cautioning that the U.S. government may soon be motivated to proclaim a similar order, this time with Bitcoin.
Okay, let's roll it forward, because here we are, and you know, this is a controversial topic, okay? And I've had people, you know, very high places in the Bitcoin world and others say to me, you know, let's not push the hyperinflation narrative. And the reason to not push the hyperinflation is scary, and we don't want to terrify people, and we want to be positive about Bitcoin and positive about where it goes. But way back when on Twitter a couple years ago, I would always post the hyperinflation chart of the day. You know, not being a doomster, let's just be realistic. One of the possible outcomes of the monetary trap we're in is that we have hyperinflation. You just can't deny that. In a best case scenario, we will have high inflation and transition to sound money, and that's what I'm rooting for. Okay, right. Because hyperinflation hurts a lot of people. I don't want to see that happen. Yeah. But to pretend like it can't happen, I think that's naive too. You're sticking your head in the ground. Of course.
According to recent estimates from the U.S. Congressional Budget Office (CBO), the U.S. federal budget deficit will grow to $1.8 trillion in 2025 and continue to grow steadily until it hits about $2.6 trillion in 2034. The bipartisan agency also estimates that the deficits as a percentage of GDP will grow to about 6.1% in 2025, levels only exceeded during and shortly after World War II, the 2007 to 2009 financial crisis, and the coronavirus pandemic since the Great Depression. This is why, in an earlier report, the CBO stated that the U.S. is on an unsustainable fiscal path. The situation the CBO captures is worrisome and concerning. Yet experts believe the situation would be worse than the agency anticipates. Lawrence captures it beautifully in his pinned post on Twitter. The post, accompanied by a chart of the U.S. GDP represented by the blue line and the nation's debt in the red line, reads, "The blue line generates income to pay interest on the red line. See the problem? It's just math." He adds the hashtags Weimar Republic and fourth turning to show the severity of what's coming. Let's get back to the video.
Let's move to the government. We know they lie to us. We know they protect themselves. We know they do whatever they can to keep their scheme going.
Yes.
I can foresee, and this is why I think it's so important for everybody to self-custody and to not be in the ETFs.
Yeah.
I can foresee a time in the future where, quote unquote, the dollar is failing. Mm-hmm. They're printing a lot of money. There's yield curve control. Inflation's running 15 or 20% a year. Bitcoin is at 150,000 going to 300. Gold is at 3,000 going to 5,000. And somebody down there in D.C. is going to say, you know what? These sound money guys, they're killing this dollar. They're killing, and this is damaging. This is a matter of friggin' national security. Mm-hmm. We got to save the dollar. Mm-hmm. And just like they sold war bonds to finance World War II, it'll become a crusade, you know. Mm-hmm. sound money people are evil. We have this great Keynesian system going on, and they're effing it up. So, we've got a solution to that. We need to tax gold capital gains at 90%, tax Bitcoin capital gains at 90%, and maybe make them turn in the gold. Of course, no one owns gold anymore. So, and it would be, all the armed people that are buying at Costco, they're not turning in the gold. I can assure you of that. It's over their dead body. But, and they might say, by the way, and we're going to grab all the Bitcoin. And there's some who think, very conspiratorially, it's possible that they let these ETFs go through with the idea that we would much rather have this in a system that we can control and call in than have everybody be a hodler with their own self-custody solution.
Right.
Because if they do decide to do a 6102 on Bitcoin, it's pretty easy. They call up Fidelity, they call up BlackRock, they call up all the major, and they say, guys, it's all over. Give them cash, send the Bitcoin to us.
Yeah.
It's illegal to own Bitcoin in the United States.
Yeah.
I hope that we transition in the right direction. It doesn't happen so quickly that it forces them into that.
Yeah.
Bitcoiners become more rich and powerful. I mean, like I said this, in another podcast, post-Madeira. I could see Saylor being president someday.
Yeah,
and,
of course.
and I actually think that'd be a really good thing.
That'd be a huge one.
I mean, I would trust any Bitcoiner in high office over the people we have there today.
Yes,
Anyone. It doesn't matter. Even the guys I don't like.
In other news, veteran trader Peter Brandt believes the U.S. Securities and Commission and other agencies are about to unleash another round of witch hunting activities on the cryptocurrency industry. In a post shared a few days ago on Twitter, Brandt predicts a severe crackdown by us regulatory agencies on specific sectors of the cryptocurrency industry, especially staking activities. The post reads, if the crypto community is upset over the SEC treatment of XRP ETH and all as securities, wait until the OCC Second Treasury do a full assault attack over staking. It's going to be a bloodbath. In a follow-up tweet, Brent notes that staking is flat out illegal and the crackdown will be a complete bloodbath. Shark Tank star Mark Cuban has also expressed concerns about the SEC and Gary Gensler as witch hunting activities against the cryptocurrency. According to Cuban, the former principal owner of the Dallas Mavericks, Gensler, his actions could set cryptocurrency investors against Joe Biden's administration, impacting his re-election prospects. The post reads, if Joe Biden loses, there is a good chance you will be able to thank Gary Gensler and the SEC. Crypto is a mainstay with younger and independent voters. Gensler has not protected a single investor against fraud. All he has done is make it nearly impossible for legitimate crypto companies to operate, killing who knows how many businesses and ruining who knows how many entrepreneurs. This is also a warning to Congress. Crypto voters will be heard in this election. You could solve this problem for Biden by passing legislation that defines registration that is specific to the crypto industry, just as other industries have registration that is defined for them. Cuban also suggested assigning the role of regulating the cryptocurrency industry to the CFTC. What are your thoughts on Lepard's interview?